Welcome to this very special episode of Innovation Adventure. Today we are in the car called Jeep Grand Cherokee and it's super exciting. This car does not only have a heated seat, it also even heats your steering wheel, which is really cool, and it has adaptive cruise control, which helps you keep safe on the highway to keep a safe distance. But today I'm super excited to talk innovation with Anna, who is a product manager at Credit Suisse. Anna, welcome to my carpool.
So exciting, and you're such a good driver.
Thank you very much. Anna, it's such an honor to have you here, and it's super excited to hear about your process in a second, about like all you've been done already at Credit Suisse over the last couple of years. But before we get into it, maybe give us a little bit of background about your career.
The last 10 years I've been on advertising and in product management and in marketing. The last 2 years I've been working on this project, and before I was at Credit Suisse marketing, and before that they were my clients. So I'm quite used to Credit Suisse and I like it there a lot. I'm responsible for bundled projects. So for example, everything connected to the adult packages like Bonviva, or for corporates like Business Easy and Startup Easy. Before that I've also done a lot of consumer goods, so everything you can touch, from water to cars to glue to cheese to yogurt and back to hardware now.
Very cool. So, like a lot of times when you talk about innovation at big corporates, it's always like people say like it's a little bit hard to, get stuff through the process. How did you experience that, like when you are now working in such a big corporate like such as Credit Suisse?
You definitely need perseverance. So you need to pitch and pitch and pitch and test and test and test and never give up. But I think that's even with startups the case.
Sure. So the latest product that you just brought to the market and got a lot of media attention is the Digipigi. So maybe you give us like a couple of sentences of, and even show us, an in-car carpool demonstration of your product, and show us like what it is for.
So it's Switzerland's first digital money box, and it is an ecosystem which is connected to two apps, one app for the parent, one app for the kid, and it really makes financial literacy fun. It is also a night lamp, which is the mode now, also a clock. Don't know if you can see it. So it's a clock, an alarm clock as well, and a night lamp and a money box. And then you can put in physical money.
Yeah.
And then it looks up and reacts, but also digital money. So when you, for example, receive something on your account, it lights up, it reacts. It has an accelerometer, so it also reacts when it's when you shake it. When you shake it with the apps, it motivates you to achieve, reach, and accomplish your saving goals. Also, to start early with your entrepreneurial spirit, with little chores which help to reach your goal. Also have a money overview. So from 7 years onwards, you start understanding like basic financial concepts like saving, sharing, and money management. And this we know from our cooperation with Pro Juventute, which is Switzerland's biggest kids and youth organization.
Sure. I mean, maybe you can give us some, details about like how much does it cost, like what are the requirements, what is like kind of like the interest rate you can get on this, or why is it appealing to the kids to use it?
So currently you need to be Swiss domiciled, and it's for parents of children age 0 to 12. So exactly the very start when you learn or where financial literacy makes sense, and then it's connected also to the Viva Kids package, which consists of a private account with 1% annual interest rate and savings account with 5% interest rate, and then optionally from 7 years onwards you also can get a debit card, where parents have the option of adjusting the limits daily or monthly as low as like a couple of francs, which they want to give to their kids. Yeah.
How does it look, let's say, in terms of the first feedbacks you have gotten for, let's say, the app and the product itself from, let's say, parents of the kids?
So currently it's a bit like an Apple feeling. There are queues, especially for this turquoise color, because it's liked the most from the 4 colors we have.
Yeah.
And the feedback in the app stores, I mean, you get real-time live feedback, is already great. It's great usability. We did previous tests before and adapted it to the feedback we got from the parents and the kids.
Yeah.
And also there are a lot of orders and we are quite happy. And we're now starting to produce already the second order, the second batch.
Sure. So what I'm most excited about this interview is about the whole process that is behind, let's say, this 2-year project, from start, like prototyping, till it's actually out there and the whole media launch. So maybe, can you start, like, what motivated you to work on this, or like how came this idea to life in the first early stages?
So as a product manager, you always look to optimize your client portfolio, your products, innovate it, develop it, and look like which can you eliminate and where you have needs. And very early on, we saw, okay, adults and youth are covered, but for kids, there's nothing yet in the market, and the market also got more and more digital. And it got more and more difficult for parents also to explain to their kids, okay, now that money is more digital with Apple Pay and Twint, like, how do you explain something that you can't see? And really leverage also financial literacy, but in a fun way. So it's more tangible, and this is how it's also easier to learn. Then Credit Suisse sponsored a design thinking course at the EPFL, the ETH University in Lausanne.
So just to clarify, now you had the idea, now you're starting the execution of it and trying to get like the product happening, or where we are now in the process?
So there was an idea, but there was no physical prototype. The idea was really to make financial literacy fun and have something tangible, but what was still in the definition. And then we told this to the students and the different student groups of mixed, like it was engineers and business students and design students, to come up with different solutions. And that through also rapid prototyping interviews. And then they came up with a box called Easy, the very first 3D printed prototype, which was really accepted by the parents and the kids, but was not yet too emotional. So this was the very first stage. The next step was really to involve industrial designers from Lego, who really know how to make something modular, how to make also something ready for mass production, but also something really emotional, because Digipigi has 25 facial expressions and sounds, from plugging in to motivating you, so it's really your little friend and helper.
Very good. So then you had, like, say, the first prototype, and what were some of the challenges that then came, let's say, connecting software and hardware specifically, let's say, in the IoT space, which is very hot at the moment?
The design also follows the function. So first we defined like where in the daily life of the customer it is, and what it needs to do, and by those the functions, and also what the software needed to be, and it needed to be very secure. So it's not in a cloud. The server is the Digipigi, so it only works in the home Wi-Fi of the client itself. Right.
Okay. Very cool. So let's move a little bit. So then you had like the prototype, you had like, let's say, the production in place, and then you have to get it to the customer, the end customer. What was the biggest challenge there? How did you do this?
Our goal was really to create a hype. And that means also to set the agenda, to put this financial literacy topic, to create a discussion. Also with Pro Juventute, there was a study conducted throughout Switzerland with hundreds, thousands of parents and children. And we saw really quite interesting insights on how the differences between girls and boys are, and how the differences between the Italian, the French-speaking, German-speaking parts in Switzerland are in terms of when and how parents, for example, give pocket money. So that was a great agenda setting, and then based on this, we could then sharpen it, and we saw that already a lot of parents and schools and institutions were interested in this topic and how emotional it was.
Right. I mean, money is a lot of times is very emotional. So let's move a little bit more into innovation. Maybe like I asked already a couple of interviews that I did in the past about like what people understand under the term of innovation. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit how you understand innovation specifically, going on in, let's say, corporate innovation.
Well, we at Credit Suisse have in Switzerland the Innovation Challenge. So it's really embedded into a daily process. It's not something that is outside. So each product manager has to innovate their portfolio, their clients. Then we have this great innovation tribe, which is a Smart Connect platform where everyone globally can participate, share ideas. And we have guest speakers workshop, and we're planning now on internal hackathons and then external hackathons. And there will be topics especially on artificial intelligence, IoT, and blockchain, obviously. Sure.
So you briefly said a couple of interesting topics. Any specific products in the pipeline that you can mention already? Create a buzz about the next.
Soon, very soon.
Okay, very soon. Good. I'm excited for that. So one of the things that I like to ask is about, let's say, specifically in banking in Switzerland. I can barely remember when I was last time in a branch of a bank. Maybe you can elaborate. What do you think of, let's say, the future of banking? We briefly discussed about, let's say, kids, how they get about financial literacy. But do you see that, let's say, the banking as it's known as of now will be also in the future?
For sure. I can say it will change drastically. We see it with our branch strategy. I mean, we reduce the amount of branches because as they are now, it's not needed. And for example, we changed also our contracts. So you also don't need to go physically anymore to a branch each year to sign things, but really maybe just once or less and less. So you can do everything conveniently, self-service from your home.
Right. So that's what you think is kind of like the future of
as
banking.
Well, yeah. One part. One part of it.
One part, very good. No, it's super interesting. I'm super excited about the future because I think we're living a time now where, let's say, the digital transformation is happening everywhere. And people who are not jumping on will have a problem very soon. I'm sure you agree with this.
Yeah.
So I think we are almost at our destination. And so first of all, thank you very much, Anna, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take the time carpooling with me from your office to your next meeting. And I am very thankful to Jeep for letting me use their Grand Cherokee for this carpool edition. And having arrived at our destination, I wish you all a great day, and thank you very much for tuning in today. Have a great day.